Ah, the mighty Ewoks. Wicket, W. Warwick. Welcome back to the Junk Room, everybody. It's the Junkman, and today's Monday, so what does that mean? A random Star Wars action figure of the week. Who are we going to talk about today? Well, if you saw the thumbnail or the opening of this video, you already know. We're going to talk about one of the smallest figures in the Star Wars line, Wicket, W. Warwick. What a cute little Ewok. Don't you just love the Ewoks? Who doesn't love the Ewoks? I don't think I ever met one person out there who just doesn't love the Ewok. Now, off the top of my head, Kenner made maybe 4 or 5 Ewoks. I'm going to put up another Ewok from the Power of the Force line, kind of so you can get a comparison of how small Wicket is. If you don't remember Wicket from the film, he's the one that finds Princess Leia, and he's actually just the main Ewok. Now I want to talk about a myth real quick, that George Lucas only put Ewoks in the movie to sell toys. That's a bunch of BS. Whatever Lucas put in Star Wars, it was going to sell toys. Return of the Jedi toys, all Star Wars toys were a huge seller. If Lucas didn't make Ewoks but made them giant lizard creatures, people would have still bought them. And in fact, Lucas wanted to make them Wookiees, but he just couldn't find a way to do it with the money and the technology that they had back then in 1983, well 82 when they filmed the movie. So he sized the Wookiees down to Ewoks. And we have probably one of the most famous Ewoks of them all. No, not probably. He is the most famous Ewok of them all, Wicket. Or, as the card says, Wicket W. Warwick. What the W stand for, I'm not really sure, but I'm sure there's some backstory canon or some website to tell you that. And we all know who played Wicket, the great Warwick Davis, who Wicket gets his name after. Warwick Davis has since been in every Star Wars movie since Return of the Jedi. I think, don't hold me to that, but I know he was in the Phantom Menace and the new Disney films. He's kind of became an ambassador for Star Wars. You see him at Star Wars Celebration, hosting a lot of the panels. He's a really great guy. In fact, at Celebration last year, me and my son was walking around the convention after everything was over. This was about 7 or 8 o'clock. And who did we just happen to run into? Wicket himself, Warwick Davis. And he was a super nice guy. But we ran into him. He was a really great guy. He was riding around on a Segway. He stopped, talked to us, got a picture with me and my son. Really great guy. You know, when you meet these celebrities, when you're standing in line to pay for the autograph or get a picture with them, they're nice to you. And you think, well, they kind of have to be nice. But when you just run into one in a back hallway at a convention center, you know, that's when you find out, hey, they can be a dick, or they can just be in a hurry, or they can be a really swell guy. Wicket first appeared on the Return of the Jedi card. Then he crossed over to the Power of the Force line. And he also shows up on the Trial logo card. Now, usually I just stick to the Kenner movie figures, but I thought I'd bring it up that Wicket does make it over to the Wicket cartoon series. However, the Wicket figure on the cartoon series is different. Has more of a cartoonish look, as you can see in the picture next to me. Now, this is my Wicket from my own personal collection. Sadly, he's missing his spear. He's one of the few figures I have that I don't have complete. And I've been trying to track down his spear at a decent price and one that isn't fake on eBay and social media. So, hey, if you're out there and you got an extra Wicket staff, leave a comment below because I really need to have this guy complete. Now, I'll let you see all sides of him right there. Wicket, I think he's a really great looking figure. It kind of surprises me. Let's put him there so we can get a good comparison. It really kind of surprises me that Wicket was later in the line. He wasn't released in the first Jedi line. In fact, it was more like the third wave of Jedi figures. Being the most recognizable and most famous Ewok, you think he would have been the first one they made and not Logray. Now, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a huge Wicket or Ewok fan. Now, I like the Ewoks, I have no problem with in the movie, but I really don't know much about the Ewok. As I've never watched the Ewok movies, and I never watched the Ewoks cartoon. So who knows more about Ewoks than I do to talk about this figure? I got a good friend named Adam Poe, who is a co-host to one of the best podcasts out there called Sequel Quest. What Sequel Quest does is they just discuss movies that didn't have a sequel or should have a sequel, or anything about sequels. They're really good podcasts to listen to. Adam is also a feature writer over at retrodays.org. I'll put a link in the description to his podcast and the website below. But I thought I'd let Adam talk to you about one of his favorite Star Wars action figures.
I'm always rooting for the little guy. And who's the littlest guy in the vintage Kenner Star Wars action figure line? It's your friend and mine, Wicket W. Warwick. See, I was born in 1982, at the tail end of the Star Wars franchise phenomenon, back when all we had on TV was the Droids and Ewoks cartoon on Saturday mornings. So, while a lot of the older fans were balking at the idea of these space teddy bears being crammed into the franchise to sell more merchandise, I was totally on board because I was Lucas's target demographic. You know, I spent hours playing with my Ewok village, trapping bad guys in nets, dropping Tebow down the escape passageway through the holonet tree trunk. It really was a favorite. But what really sealed the deal for me was the second made-for-TV movie starring the Ewoks. Maybe you remember it? The Battle for Endor. Oh man, I watched my taped-from-TV VHS copy endlessly, and it made me a fan of Wicket's warrior spirit, and his broken English always gave me a chuckle. Plus, I mean, it is still to this day my favorite Star Wars spin-off film. Sorry, Rogue One and Solo, you can't beat the comedic duo of Wilford Brimley and Teak. And it didn't hurt also that in the mid-90s I got a chance to meet Warwick Davis at a local sci-fi collectibles shop. So having shared a handshake with the man behind the glassy, unblinking eyes really made me a Wicket fan through and through. So, there you have it. My favorite figure in the vintage Kenner Star Wars action figure line is Wicket. Why isn't he yours?
Thank you, Adam, for coming on and helping me with this video. And I can see from that you really love the Ewoks, and most of all, you love Wicket. But who doesn't, right? Check out his podcast, Sequest. Again, the link will be in the description below. Well, I think that's about all I can say about this little guy. I really don't have much more to add, so I'll tell you to go over to Patreon. That link is also in the description below. If you want to help support this channel, head over to StarWarsJunk.net, buy a lot of cool t-shirts. And of course, follow me on Twitter at StarWarsJunk. And if you just want Kenner-related stuff, you can follow Kenner Toys on Twitter. I run both of those. Kind of wish I could merge them together, but I started one here and then started one there, and then this whole thing just blew up. So, Star Wars Junk or Kenner Toys on Twitter. But you can find links to all that at StarWarsJunk.net. Again, thank you for listening. We will be back next Monday with another random Star Wars figure. And until then, Wednesday, we'll have a new video. And then, of course, Friday, the best of Star Wars news of the week. So check us back then. And please subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll see you really soon.
Thank you, sir, for that unsolicited testimony.